Right, so welcome back everyone. I'm Jamie Delap, owner of Fyne Ales, Pawel, head of Origins Brewing. We're here tasting Beams. So Beams was a beer that we brewed back in, again, I think 2018 with Miranda and Bates from Duration Brewing. So Duration, I don't know, for those of you that aren't familiar with Duration, they're a brand new brewery. Started, I think, just a couple of months before the lockdown began. Down in Norfolk, and very much setting up to be another true farmhouse brewery the way we are. So we named this one Beams because beams are what we use to support each other, and we're all about here sort of supporting friends and working together. So this is Beams. Pawel, why don't you tell us a little bit about the beer?
So Beams is basically oak aged rustic saison, which is a blend of two different beers. The first one is just classic saison that was fermented first with saison yeast strain, and in the secondary we added mixed culture of Brettanomyces. And the second beer was strong ale, which was a bit more on the dark side. The idea was to provide more complex sugars for bread to chew on through the secondary fermentation. And the beer was then blended together, these two beers. And
I think it got a good. After that, I think they had quite a good amount of time in stainless steel, didn't it?
Right.
Just to make sure it really fermented everything fully out before.
Yeah. So it's in the stainless for a couple of months before packaging.
Yeah. And the mixed firm for this one. So this was, I think, came off of the Belgian Baroque that we did before.
Right.
So it was a yeast. That itself was a blend of several different yeasts, bottle dregs, and purchased, I think, and a little bit of spontaneous went into that as well. So very much sort of a bit of an emerging house culture. But I think one of the things we quite liked about Baroque, and that I like about this, is the Brett does give it quite a pronounced flavour note coming forward, doesn't it? I suppose we'd actually try the beer and make sure we know what we're talking about here. But I have to confess, I've had a box of this in my fridge during lockdown. So, or at least there was a box. There was a box at the beginning of lockdown. There's not much of it left now. I think I might have finished the last bottle.
Right.
So
yeah, I think it's very, very interesting brew. It has a very tropical character. I'd say pineapple, passion fruit.
Yeah. Yes.
But also there is prominent classic bread character, barnyardy, which these two play together really well.
Yeah, that's one of the things I like. I think it's something that seems to have evolved over the last few years. I think when I sort of first started getting into these kind of beers, it felt to me like there was a lot of beers out there with that sort of quite pronounced Bretty character, the horse blanket or whatever you want to describe it as. But then over the last couple of years, it seems to have evolved, and the saisons I'm generally trying seem to be much cleaner, much simpler. Whereas I actually like, if I want something like this, I quite like having that slightly Bretty, funky character in there. For me, that's an interest value.
Yeah, for me, what was the most exciting about this kind of beers is that they really evolve over time. And if you try Beams today, it probably in a couple of months it will taste slightly different. So that's the most exciting part about it.
Yes, no, definitely. Well, what's nice, I think I think when we first tasted it, that's not true. I think we loved it from when we first before it went into bottle. Then we were all like, that's sitting just where we wanted. But I think there was a degree of nervousness about whether this sort of slight sort of funk note on there, how that would play with people. But we were really pleased when this one won actually best sort of sour and spontaneous at the Zebra Awards down in Beerex. What feels like a lifetime ago, but was in fact only 3 months ago. That was a really nice moment to see a beer with a real pronounced Brett flavour. was actually winning through in the tasting panels there. I thought that was said something positive about how these kind of beers go down in the industry these days.
Definitely, Brett is really pronounced here, but definitely it's not overwhelming.
Yes,
I think that balance. It's there.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And that's I like that. I thought Baroque was which was probably the most similar beer to this that we've done, and I thought was a very accomplished beer, but it was a bit in the way that Saison DuPont is quite a big chew for me, if I'm honest. I mean, I like it, but but by the end of it, you're a little bit like, oh, I've worked my way through that bottle. Whereas I find this one really nice, and it's very nice and easy to sink one of these steadily. Yeah. Yes. So drinking this summer garden, I'm seeing sort of feet up, probably before the barbecue. What would you go with? Some nice grilled vegetables, or?
Yeah, I think grilled vegetables sounds really good to me.
Yeah. Normally my tasting notes are always centered around a nice bit of meat, but actually I think with this one, either some nice grilled vegetables or maybe a bit of good grilled fish would work very well as well. So yeah. Anyway, so that is Beams, our collaboration with Duration Brewing. And if you've not tried their beers yet, you must check them out. They're a beautiful little brew house down in Suffolk, and I've not had a chance to go down and visit them yet. So Miranda and Bates, as soon as lockdown ends properly and we can come down and visit, we're definitely coming to see you. So many thanks, and enjoy. Definitely one worth drinking.